Hey house guests, welcome to today's Big Brother Canada 7 updates and spoilers. It's the last one of the season. What? So our house guests of the day, we've got Ashlyn Schmidt-Lagrone, Anona Osentowski, Angel Gordon, Alan Houston, Terrence Lassiter, Wendy, Brady Mathiasen, Ed Matute, and Wes Boyer. Thank you all so much for the support. We could not do this without you. We really appreciate it. And I want to thank all of our patrons from Patreon. You guys, you the realist. Thank you so much. So yesterday was really busy in the house. When we left off, the feeds were down for the award ceremony. Sarah Hanlon came in earlier to get them all ready. We didn't get to see it, but we'll see all of that on Sunday night's episode, so that should be a lot of fun. It usually is. And then there was a little bit of downtime between the award ceremony and nominations. So during that time, Kira and Dane were in the HOH bathroom. And Kira's like, I'm glad I kept you, Dane. Oh, you kept it. And then Kira corrected themselves and was like, well, I'm glad we kept you. But Kira thinks that Dane is Canada's favorite. I think he's definitely up there, if not Canada's favorite. But Kira says, I want to go to the final two with you. They say no one has a shot at beating Anthony because he didn't get blood on his hands at all. The interesting thing though, like, do you think that Anthony is going to go to the final two and continue to say that he was loyal and he never did anything wrong? Or do you think he's going to like own up to all of his shady stuff? Because I feel like if he doesn't, his resume's not that great. But if he like actually explains everything he did, then I think he'll have a better shot at winning. Because that's been an issue for people in the past, not owning their shadiness when, you know, sometimes people want to reward that because it was good gameplay, but if you don't admit to it, people are still going to be bitter. So anyway, they agree that no one has a shot at beating Adam either. I think Dane could potentially beat Adam. I think it would be close maybe. I don't know. But Kira, no. So Kira says, you know what, I wouldn't mind losing to you. Kira's not trying to say that they're going to beat Dane. They think that their best shot is against Dane. I don't know about that. So Kira's like, I wouldn't mind losing to you. And Dane's like, well, my word is my word too. Which one? Because he's given his word to everybody. But he's telling Kira, like, yeah, I would go to the final two with you. Would he? Or would he stick with Anthony? Who knows at this point? We never thought that we would see him getting rid of Adam, right? But like, could be happening. So then Kira's saying, I know that Anthony hopes that I would bring him to the final two out of friendship, but it would basically just be like handing him $100,000, and that's not something that Kira is gonna do right now. So Dane says, all right, well, first things first, let's get rid of Adam, and then it's you and me in the final two. Ugh, that'd be rough. But they say that Anthony would be harder to beat than Adam. Let's think about this. So you think that Anthony would be harder to beat, and yet given the choice, you're gonna get rid of Adam first, because that really makes sense. I guess they figure Anthony's gonna be pretty useless in the rest of the competition, so they're not worried about beating him. But yeah, in true BB Can 7 fashion, they plan to get rid of Adam. So Kira ends the conversation by saying, I'm gonna win the veto. Good luck! Okay, so then they have the nomination ceremony, and as planned, Dane put up Adam and Kira. Again, at this point in the game, nominations don't really matter. It all comes down to the power of veto, but the significance here is that Anthony keeps his no nomination streak alive. So if he does make it to the final two, that's definitely a point in his favor. Okay, so then the house guests found out that the POV comp is that night. They don't have a lot of time to prepare. So Adam's praying, all the house guests are studying, and then Dane and Anthony have a chat. We get a little insight into what they're actually planning and thinking. So they're like, we got this, bro, we got this. Dane says they're Batman and Robin. Who is who in that scenario? Do they both think that they're Batman? Or like, what's going on here? Because I'm seeing more like Joker and Riddler. I don't know. I don't see Batman and Robin. But Dane says, you know what? We're going to be okay either way, but let's control our own fate. If we win this veto, if one of us wins this veto, we got this thing wrapped up. Anthony says if one of us wins this, we're going to the finals. And you know that Anthony is counting on Dane to win this because this is traditionally like a heavy days and events competition. So Anthony does not have a shot at this. It's not gonna happen. There's no way. So then Anthony says, all right, I gotta go shit. So End of that conversation. Dane goes back to studying. But it sounds like from their chat that they're going to cut Adam. And they're just going to hope that one of them beats Kira in the final HOH and they can go together. Or not. I don't know. Maybe they really do plan on taking Kira to the final 2. Who freaking knows? So then the feeds went down for the Power Veto competition. They did not come back until 4:19 a.m. So it sounds like the comp was called Veto Hunter. And Anthony says he humiliated himself. That should be fun to watch. But again, we expected that, right? Because he hasn't been studying the days all season. And Dane had his little chart with like all the pasta and whatever he used. So Dane won the Power Veto, and he said it was finally a competition geared towards a smaller person. Because like when they had the POV with the pegs pulling them out of the wall, that was definitely for a tall person. But this one he said was for a small person. So he had an advantage there. And of course, he's been studying his days. So then the pretty boys are talking about how they're the greatest alliance in Big Brother Canada history. And then they're like, no, maybe even America. Wait, way better than America. And then Anthony says, give us a visa, drop us in a house with Americans, bring us to Australia. First of all, I don't think Australia even has Big Brother anymore. Second of all, you get your asses beat in Big Brother US. Oh my God, you cannot get away with that in America. I don't think so. I mean, we saw Derek Levasseur do that, but like, I don't know that Anthony's on the same level as him. It's hard to say. Okay. But I don't know. So anyway, Adam is praising Dane for winning the HOH and the veto. And he's like, people are going to be talking about us for years to come. Because usually when there's great people working together, like really people that are really good at competitions, and somebody like Anthony who's really good at manipulating people, you see them backstab each other. Oh, Adam, it's coming, man. Oh. So yeah, Adam, I feel like was trying to, you know, test the waters and maybe even make them feel a little bit guilty if they're thinking about getting rid of him. Until I'm not meaning to do the pretty boys sign here. Just resting my hand. But this morning, Dane and Anthony were all giddy, all excited about Dane beating Adam in the POV competition. So Anthony's like, Dane, you just took down the Marine with a hippo tranquilizer. So they're talking about getting rid of Adam here. It sounds like it is actually going to happen. And Anthony's like, how are we going to do this? And Dane says, are we going to blindside him? They don't want to deal with Adam freaking out. Wow, that is supposed to be like your freaking brother. You keep saying it's a brotherhood, and not only are you voting him out, but you might not even tell him beforehand. That's freaking cold. So then they're thinking, all right, fine. We'll tell him before, but it's got to be like right before. And they're hoping that he'll respect the game move. But the problem here is they don't realize the eviction is today. It's happening like now. So they're like, yeah, it's probably either tomorrow or like the day after, so we'll wait until then to tell him. Isn't Dean supposed to be a super fan? Shouldn't he know that this eviction is like now? But then they talk about going to final 2 together. They feel like the vote is going to be split. It's going to be like 4-3 for either one of them to win. They're not really sure. But yeah, they're talking about going to the finals together. Again, who knows if they'll actually stick with that, especially since now they're cutting Adam. He's a pretty boy, so who's to say that they're gonna actually take each other? But then they discuss how loyal they've been all game, which is just like hilarious and also sad because y'all are about to vote out your ally and you're talking about how loyal you've been. Loyal to yourself? I mean, really. So then at 11 a.m., Arissa calls the house guests to the living room because it's eviction time. They did not talk to Adam before that. Bye, Adam. Ooh, I don't know. Maybe they did some like hand signals on the couch while they were waiting. Who knows? But that eviction comes up fast. So then once Arissa announced the eviction, the feeds went down and that's it for the rest of the season. Because they got like all these competitions and everything to get done and they don't want us to know who was evicted. But I think it's pretty safe to say it was Adam. So yeah, the feeds are down for the season. So that is the end of the spoilers. Oh, I want to thank all of you guys so much for watching with us this season, and a special thanks to Mom for taking over while I was working on the movie, because that was clutch. I would not have been able to do that without her, so I really appreciate it, and I really appreciate you guys being so welcoming to her as well. So I hope you had a good time with us, even though this was kind of a turd of a season, wasn't it? But anyway, we're gonna have fun with it, right? We got a couple episodes left, so make sure you guys watch the recaps. Let me know what you think in the comments, who you're rooting for to take it all. And until next time, much love.